Now you're probably wondering what the heck, what is this on my finger? You're probably wondering what the heck am I doing inside of a Camry? My house is loud right now, and I decided to do this inside of my car because, it's a bit more quieter in here, number one. And number two, this is going to be like a really quick video because there's not really a script that I can write for this topic. I didn't really know what to write about. I'm just like, I think it'd be best if I just did a reaction, like a first look. That's kind of a lie because it's not a first look because it's going to be like my 500th time looking at this console because I've just been rewatching the video so many times. Random jump cut, and I didn't really get a chance to look at the trailer when it first released because I was on my way to work, and that's what happens when you're an adult. You got bills you gotta pay. So I'm gonna snap my finger, and you're gonna go to me recreating and reenacting my initial look at the trailer. Okay, it's not even gonna be that. I'm just gonna go over the trailer and sort of discuss my thoughts about the Switch 2 because there's been a lot of discussions online about the console, and I think it'd be best if I just dig in it without a script or anything like that because I can get my true thoughts out there without having to type it in and put in jokes. And that's the thing. I don't have my script. Will I be funny? Or was I ever funny? Don't answer that question, please. I don't want to know the...
And we're here with the Switch 2, easily one of the most hyped and anticipated consoles of the modern era of video games, especially of this generation. I can't think of any other console that's garnered this much attention at this rate. When you think about it, we've been dealing with Switch 2 rumors for pretty much half of the Switch's life itself. I want to say 2019, the Switch came out 2017, so I want to say 2019, 2020, that's when we really started to hear a bunch of rumors about what the next potential Switch would look like. Maybe even earlier than that, honestly. But yeah, we got a lot of leaks, a lot of rumors, a lot of discussions. Just a couple of weeks ago, we saw renders of the console itself from some unknown third party. I don't even know who that was that just dropped renders of the Switch. So it goes without saying that people are really anticipating the Switch and what it's going to look like. And we finally got an appearance of it. We finally get to see what the Switch 2 officially will look like, and I hope people are happy. They don't seem as excited. They don't seem as excited as I thought they would be. I think a lot of people online had a lot of their wind taken out of their sails because we have seen so much of the Switch 2. It's been discussed for so long. This has been the console that, honestly, I don't know there's ever been a more leaked console than the Switch 2. And so we get to this point where I don't even think people online, if you're seeing so much about the Switch 2, if you're going to be satisfied, because it's just one of those consoles that won't leave the cultural zeitgeist in terms of people talking about it. I log on to YouTube, the amount of videos that I see dedicated to the Switch 2, honestly, is insane. Rumors, any small detail that you can think that this console can have, people are making videos about it. There's content about it, and I get it. I get people not being excited, but I think if you talk to a casual person, someone that doesn't follow video games that heavily, someone that just casually plays games and isn't really a hardcore gamer, I can see them being very happy about this. I can see them being super excited about this. I can see them being very, at the edge of their seats about this announcement. And granted, this is just another iteration in the Switch family. And I think because we're so used to what the Switch is, that sort of, gaze, that first look at it, that excitement that you get isn't really there anymore because you get the system. You already have the system. You've been playing with it for 7 to 8 years now. So you're used to it. You know what the Switch is all about. This is just a new and more powerful one. But I think that's what has kept me excited. I think what keeps me excited about the Switch is the fact that, or the Switch 2, I should say, is the fact that this is going to just be more powerful. and that just opens the door for more games to be available. Now I can't stop thinking about what games could potentially come to the Switch too, because if this is going to be something that's as powerful, I've heard rumors of like being as powerful as like a base PS4 or a PS4 Pro. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's obviously going to be way more powerful than we're at right now, which is a godsend. I think that's another reason as to why people just want a Switch 2 so badly. I think that's a reason as to why people have just been clamoring for a Switch 2, is because the Switch is just such, in terms of power, it's not the most strongest system out there. And with it being as such, weaker on hardware in terms of like graphics and fidelity compared to its competition out there, with it being one of the more weaker consoles, people are just like, oh my god, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, when is that Switch 2 coming out? Like, when are we gonna get like 4K or like 1080p fidelity resolution on a console, on a Switch? And you play games on the Switch now, and a lot of them lag, a lot of them have frame rate issues, a lot of them stutter. Even the first party games stutter. Tears of the Kingdom stuttered. Parts of Kirby and the Forgotten Land stuttered and had frame rate issues. We're at the point where we're just like, man, I will take a more powerful console, please, Nintendo. Just give us that Nintendo Switch 2. And yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about a more powerful console, a more powerful system, because there have been times when I'm playing games on a Switch and I'm just like, man, this is tough. This is rough, especially if you play like a PS5 or even a PS4 game or Xbox Series X game, and then you jump to a Switch and you're just like, oof, like the graphics take a hit. Oof, the resolution and the quality take a big hit, because there's just not that much power for the system. There's not that much power for the system itself. And, you play these games, and even when the first party games are having problems, Mario and Luigi Brothership had some fidelity issues, had some graphical issues in it too. And I'm just like, these are first party games. These are the games that typically run better. And they're having problems too. They're not at the best resolution either. They're not, smooth either. And this is coming from the big house. This is coming from Nintendo. This is coming from, internally. So if you guys are having, problems getting these games running smooth at a good frame rate, everybody else is also having problems. And the consumers, the gamers, we're feeling this. We're feeling this heavily. So I can see why there's so much anticipation, why people are just like, oh my god, we need the Switch 2 already. Because just with the way that the Switch is right now, there's a lot of problems. I'm really excited to see more about the Joy-Cons. So the Joy-Cons that we have now are these rails that click into the system itself. These, the ones that we're seeing with the Switch 2, they're going to be magnetic. And it's just going to like click into the system with the magnets in it. That's interesting. I've seen people talk about on it. I've seen people talk online about the console probably like breaking or being more susceptible to breaking because it's going to use magnets. I'm going to assume that Nintendo has done enough research and development on this, feature that is not going to be a problem. I hope. But another thing that I'm really excited about with the Switch 2 is really that mouse feature. That mouse feature, I think, is going to be a big game changer, because this is what's really keeping me at the edge of my seat, is that the possibility of games that can come to the Switch 2 with that mouse feature is honestly endless. I'm thinking of so many different PC games, and DS games, honestly, would work really well. I'm thinking like you could play a DS game like tabletop mode, maybe with the Switch 2. And I think that is going to be a big thing that a lot of people can look forward to, if that's a thing. I don't know if it has like, but like the way that it looks in the trailer, The way that they have it gliding across the screen and the way that they have it like moving, it looks like it's trying to show off like mouse functionality, like a cursor or some sort of thing. So I think that's a big deal. There's not much to talk about with the system itself because we weren't given that much from Nintendo. I mean, this trailer was so short. I feel like Nintendo was just like pushed into a corner because there's just been so many leaks, so many things come out from press outlets, so many things have come out from, you know, the people that make accessories. And I know not many people are excited about the console because it's just like a next iteration of the Switch, but it's like, what were you expecting? And maybe I think honestly one of the biggest things for me from this entire reveal is the backwards compatibility. I think backwards compatibility with the Switch 2 is going to be the best thing ever. I honestly cannot wait. I honestly cannot just wait to get my hands on the Switch 2. And if it's what I imagine in my head, which is I put my Switch game into the Switch 2 and it looks better with resolution, with graphics, with fidelity, I might just cry right now thinking about that. You know, I'm playing Xenoblade 3 and I'm like, man, this game, I know it looks really good, but just imagine it in like 4K or with a smoother frame rate, it would look amazing. And I think that's the thing with it being backwards compatibility. We have all these games, the ports from the Wii U, we have the, you know, the first party Switch games, we have a lot of third party Switch games too. If they were all backwards compatible and if they were able to like up the resolution and go back and graphically enhance these games, not only will these games I think sell more, I'm just imagining Breath of the Wild in 4K would look crazy. Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom or Xenoblade 3 or Mario Odyssey, you know, those games being in a 4K resolution with smoother frame rate, it would just, I need it. And you know, that's what I can't wait for. The new games is all cool, but I really want to go back and like, you know, play The Witcher 3 on a Switch 2 with better graphics, play Xenoblade 3 on a Switch 2 with better graphics, even play Mario Kart 8 with better graphics. I think that would make such a big difference in how these games look. I think they look fine on their own, but if they are able to enhance the way that they look right now, Jesus Christ, it's gonna be great. But at least for me, I'd say this is probably like, it's exciting. It's exciting to see. I'm just looking more towards what the freaking system looks like, what it plays like, and what the UI looks like. What do the graphics look like? What does the resolution look like? What does, you know, is there going to be an update on the eShop? Is there going to be a totally new home screen? Is there going to be, you know, different ways to play with the mouse feature? I want to know more about the system, and this was just a very small teaser. We weren't given that much information, so it is what it is, unfortunately. But from what we were given, and from what we might know, and if some of the leaks are true, I think there's a lot to look forward to with this console.
And we're back in the car. I think I have to end this video with a joke, just like I do with my other videos. So what should I say? I'm so excited for the Switch 2, I'm gonna go drive in the snow. You see, it kind of doesn't work. I think I need my script.